During Saturday's fourth-place finish in Wheaton, one Cardinal brought back to life a historic achievement. North Central's Gabe Ewell rolled his way through the 184-pound bracket. The senior collected his fourth individual Pete Wilson championship, making him the first wrestler in 60 years to accomplish the feat. When it comes to Cardinal wrestling, Gabe Ewell is a game changer. North Central 174-pounder Quan Brown is the defending CCIW champion at 157 pounds. Quan, going from 157 to 174 has been tough this year?
No, actually it's been a pretty good change for me. I remember last year during mid-season, I decided I was going to go 174 this year. Nobody believed me at the time, but I was pretty set on not cutting weight, and I think that really affected my my wrestling. So I think this year I feel much more comfortable at the weight I am at 174. So
gaining close to 20 pounds, just lifting or eating?
Yeah, I actually worked out pretty hard this summer. Stayed with the lifts that our coach gave us off season and stuff like that, and pretty much that's what happened. I got a little big.
Talk about coming in as a freshman. You entered with Gabe Ewell, who's a senior right now. We've talked a lot about Gabe and his accomplishments with the program, but what's it been like kind of seeing and being a classmate of his, seeing kind of the accomplishments in the rise of the program?
I think the program is, I mean, it's a good job. When I came in as a freshman, I really didn't not really fit in. Well, kind of fit in, but with Gabe and Vinny and all those guys, they're all a bunch of good guys, and they all wrestle hard to the best of ability. I always thought that I was underrated compared to them, but I feel that as a team, like as our senior class, we all push each other through the adversity that we go through and things like that.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. Now, as a senior at Rich Central, I believe you finished, you wrestled in the quarterfinal rounds of the consolation bracket before losing. What's it been like coming from Rich Central, where I believe you guys had one state medalist in the 2000s, to coming to North Central, where you got kids coming in that were state champions from all over the place? Do you feel like as a wrestler you've become that much better from wrestling at North Central?
I definitely feel that coming in freshman year, I definitely lacked a lot of skills that college wrestling is made of. But I think that's coming from like every school. Like if I feel like I go back to high school now with the skills I have now, I feel like we could all be multiple state champs, the whole team actually, just from little small changes that's just transitionals from high school to college. So I mean, I think it's definitely with the coaching staff that we have. I mean, I definitely think it's a very good change for our team and stuff like that.
Just real quick, can you speak to some of those skills, and do some of the high school wrestlers that you know perform the same way?
It's just pretty much like if you look at the freshman class coming into college, you notice like different things, like if a freshman get taken down, they would like stop wrestling. This is pretty much, college wrestling is all about constantly moving, constantly keeping on an attack, constantly defending, constantly just keep moving throughout the whole match. And in high school, it's more of a slower pace, I would say, in that, but it's just much more intense and brutal in college. So
sounds like endurance is huge in the college level.
Yes.
Well, currently on D3Wrestling.com, freshman Nathan Fitzenrider is ranked as the #1 wrestler in the country at 133 pounds. Nathan, entering this season, the preseason polls came out and you were nowhere to be found in the top 10. Now to be in #1, how does that make you feel?
Well, real glad with that. I mean, it's a great accomplishment to be ranked #1 in the nation for anything, but just with talking to Kevin and my coaches and all throughout like my wrestling experience, I just try not to get caught up in rankings as much, because I mean, if you're kind of happy with where you are, you don't want to get better, and there's always a chance, an opportunity to improve, and that's what you should be striving for at all times. So I just try to kind of keep humble and level-headed about it.
Well, let's go back to the Pete Wilson Invitational. Coach was talking about a dominating performance. I believe you won 5 matches. In that championship match, I think I counted 4 takedowns. That one was the kind of the fake out you had on the wrestler. Well, just take us back through that tournament. Do you feel like you're at your best?
I feel at this point in the season, yeah, that was probably the best I've wrestled so far, and I was really happy with my performance. And I mean, just Kevin and Carl and Adam and all our coaches in the wrestling room have just been striving that just go hard every day, try to get better, keep improving, keep working on your skills, and just don't be happy with where you are, trying to keep improving yourself. That's what I've been trying to do, and it's really paying off. You can see our whole team up and down the lineup from the beginning of the season to even just at watching them wrestle at the Pete Wilson tournament has gotten tremendously better. So it's good to see that like your efforts are paying off. It helps you kind of keep going forward and keep pushing on.
Absolutely. Now, last year was your, I guess you could say your real freshman year. You're a redshirt freshman this year. Last year, you had a 12-3 record with 1 pin before you got hurt. Was that pretty disappointing to get hurt, especially when your brother Jason was on the team last year with you?
Yeah, it was a real disappointment because, I mean, it was really nice to wrestle like my final, or Jason's final year with him. So that was one of like the major reasons I also came to North Central, was to be with him for his last year. So it was nice to wrestle with him, and then when I got hurt, it's just very disappointing because I love the sport so much. It's hard to just sit there and sit back and just watch and not be able to actually compete. But I am happy at the same time because I learned a lot from it, just watching and being around it, and it gave me that hunger and that urge to want to get back in the room and work even harder.
You know, as far as Division III wrestling is concerned, do you feel like this year you've competed on the highest level that you can possibly compete at up to this date, given Division III wrestling program?
Yes, I do. Kevin and Carl did an outstanding job this year putting our schedule together to where we wrestle all of the top teams, which, like Kevin said, it's the only way to make sure that you're prepared and you're ready for the big tournaments and for like the regionals, nationals. If you wrestle all these big teams and these big schools and the top guys at each weight, you're ready for it when you come and you see them at time for regionals. And that's kind of one of the biggest things you can do to prepare for those tournaments.
Coach, you heard Nathan just talking about it, going against top competition. Earlier this season, Nathan and Gabe both had a chance to compete at the 47th Annual Midlands Championship at Northwestern University. That was a competition where they were going against some of the best wrestlers in Division I. What were, talking with those wrestlers and being a part of that competition, what was it beneficial to the program?
Yeah, Midlands is a very prestigious tournament. You have to be invited to go. Not just anybody can show up and wrestle in it. So as Division III wrestlers, being invited to a tournament like that says a lot about those guys that were invited, for one, and to be able to wrestle with some of the best wrestlers in the country, regardless of any division. It's a great experience, and just kind of test your skills of where you're at, compared to the best guys in the nation.
Absolutely. Nathan, you were able to make it to the second round. I believe Gabe made it to the third round of that tournament. Just talk about winning your first matchup.
It was just an all-around good experience. Like, it's just amazing to be able to wrestle in that tournament, regardless of how you do. But I was happy I got one win there, my first match. That was really exciting. And didn't finish as well as I'd hoped, but it was a good learning experience for me and kind of showed me that I still have some things I need to improve on and get better.
Well, Coach, we're going to wish you all the best. The CCIW Championships, I believe, is on a Thursday night at North Central College, February 11th, starting at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, we wish you guys all the best. Nathan, thanks for joining us. Quan, thanks for joining us, and good luck at the CCIWs. Stay tuned as Sports Information Director Clark Tusher joins us to talk about the basketball doubleheader with Wheaton after this short break.